Did you ever see a driver of a car chasing a bus, and then he just parked at the front of the bus, the passengers walk out of the car and physically stop the bus. The driver opened the door and let them in. Why I'm using that? It's because we're about to learn, as we study now on Tractate Gittin, the subject of Chazara beget, which means a husband, let's call him name, let's say his name is Reuven. He's sending Shimon with a get to give to his wife Leah. And what happened is, Shimon's taking the get, and guess what? Reuven see him, and he stops him and says, no, don't give it, forget it. So there's several questions left. Number one, is that okay, or it's too late? Number two, meaning when is okay, when is too late? Number two is, what is the validity of the get itself? Can you reuse it, or it's basically over? Another subject with that is, if Reuven sent Shimon to give Leah the get, and then he sent Levi to tell Shimon that he backed out. So now the question is, what happened now? Is that too late? Is Levi have a power to go ahead and abrogate what Shimon was asked to do? Who basically have the power? Is the husband's power to change his mind as long as she's not receiving it? Is the agent's power? Is the second agent, Levi, can be a minor, can be a non-Jew? Another phase, that derivative from that, is the whole concept of gift. Let's say David gives to Yehuda a gift. Then, for all different reasons, David decided to give to Yehuda an expensive Rolex watch, right? And then he changed his mind. The question is, can he change his mind? Can he have back the gift that you give to someone? All right? Imagine just a case that I know of. Someone was give someone a gift, and it's a special talent that that person have to a certain field. And he gave the gift to someone, orally, by hearting, whatever it is, by heart. And then he said, I want that back. Right? Is that okay? When do you say that the moment Yehuda received the gift is too late, which is rationally by halakha, or is any claim David have? The last subject we're going to discuss today is the subject of prusbul. Prusbul meaning the time that giving the tithe in Eretz Israel and loan in Eretz Israel, the idea is follow the biblical precept. At the Jubilee year, 7 times 7 Shemitah, was the time that you release the servants, you release all the loans, and people try to take advantage of that. And as a result, Hillel, the head of the community, saw that the lender is just stop giving a loan because they're afraid that people take advantage of that and not paying back the loan. So he made it in a way that as long as the two parties have the original agreement running by the rabbinic court, which stated, that's called prusbul, that you cannot abuse the system by using the Jubilee year and not pay back the loan that was given to you. So the question is, if someone wants to make such agreement, does he needs to go to a formulation of court of 3 people, or at the front of 2 witnesses is sufficient to make the declaration of prusbul? So we are at the beginning of chapter 3 in Tractate Gittin, page 32, by the Mishnah. And the Mishnah tells us as follows: Hasholeach get leishto, vehigia bashaliach, meaning the husband, we call him Reuven, sent to Leah get, and as the Rashi said, he met him for all kind of circumstances, but he met him, and he said, I'm changing my mind. Or ששלח אחריו שליח, or he takes Levi, another fellow, and he sent after Shimon to tell him that ואמר לו גט שנתתי לך בטלו. He said, the Meiri explained, the get, meaning Levi said, what the husband sent to you, that get is no longer in effect. He sent me to tell you. So the Mishnah said, Harei ze batel. And here you have a difference in view between Rabbi Akiva Iger and Tiferet Yaakov and others. Rabbi Akiva Iger said the moment Levi meets Shimon, meaning the second agent, meet the first one, on behalf of the husband, that's basically a matter of annulment. Tiferet Yaakov said the whole concept is the husband announced, like we know in Pesach. You said a declaration of annulment of Chametz. You make this declaration, and that means, kol chamira, biblically speaking, you expunge verbally in your heart and expression that the Chametz is no longer. So here the husband said, this manner of get is no longer in effect. So the moment he told that to his second shaliach, to Levi, that expression of annulment. So the Mishnah said, Harei ze batel. Therefore, this get, as the Gemara tells us later, follow of Nachman, it's over. Meaning, the husband abrogated the koach hashlichut, the emissary, the agent capability of deliver the get, but not the get itself, which is another subject. Can you reuse it in the future, which we're going to discuss. Now, here's another phase. The husband, in our days, pick up the phone. In those days, find a way to meet his wife. And he said to her, Kidem etzel ishto, meaning, let's again use name, David sent Shimon, or Reuven sent Shimon with the get. Shimon did not meet Leah yet, his wife. Now Reuven ran to Leah and he said, wait a second, Shimon is going to carry again, but I'm telling you right now, it's over. I'm not going to approve it. I disapprove it. It's not. Or sheshalach etzla shaliach. Or after he gave Shimon the get, he sent Levi to his wife Leah, ve'amar la, and Levi said to his wife, get sheshalachti lach batelu. Guess what? In a couple of hours, you maybe get the get from Shimon that I sent you. I have a news for you. It's not in effect. Not an effective get. So the Mishnah said, batel, harei ze batel. This get is not effective. And we said it every day. We said that's the deep meaning of Gemara in Kiddushin, page 6, that said, kol she'ino baki, if someone is not totally familiar with all the nuances, all the rules of Gittin and Kiddushin, which you see how sometimes is technical and details and complicated, we should not get involved with this because, as you see, there is so much to discuss. Anyway, אם מישהי הגיעה גט לידה, שוב אינו יכול לבטלו. However, the moment Leah received the get, the bill of divorce, she received it in her hands, it's over. So regardless if the husband come back afterward and said, it's meaningless, or Levi, the second agent, come and said, since she received the get in her hand, she divorced. And therefore the annulment that followed is total meaningless. Barishona haya ose bet din. The Mishnah continued and said, initially a husband who wishes to render a get void will convene a rabbinic court elsewhere, במקום אחר, umevatlo, and void the get, meaning without the presence of the agent or the wife. Hitkin Rabban Gamliel Hazaken, which is the grandson of Hillel, the head of the Sanhedrin, rules, Shelo yehu osim ken mipnei tikun haolam. They should not do that because embetterment of the world. And the Gemara will explain to us what exactly involved. In page 33, you see the view of Rabbi Yochanan and more. Now, there is a book called Michtav Me'Eliyahu. There are actually two different books. I'm talking about old book that was written by one of the Chachmei Sfarad, one of the Spanish sages. His specialty was in Gittin, that rabbi. And he, as well as Rabbi Akiva Iger, have a discussion. Let's say Reuven, he deliver the get. He asked Shimon, Reuven is the husband, he asked Shimon to deliver the get. Does that mean that Shimon now has the power, or Reuven, the husband, has the power? Does that mean that Reuven is the one who has the right to back out, levatel, to void, or Shimon has the right to avoid the get? What exactly is the category of bar shlichut, someone who has the capability of being the agent? Can a non-Jew, can Imisel, can a minor be a Levi, a second shaliach? The one, Shimon, that gives the announcement, he's the one who can mevatel, or void, or not? So Rabbi Akiva Iger said that it has to be the husband. The husband is, because the idea is the husband is the one by his expressions, by his announcement, and telling the second shaliach that it's, as long as she not receive, it's in his power. But again, the big intriguing question that soon you see a big discussion is, as long as she's not receive it, is that mean that the husband verbally or by sending someone, what exactly, how far is the power of the husband? It's a big discussion. Anyway, the Gemara said, the moment if the husband if Reuven, the husband, see Shimon and tell him the get is not effective, the get is void. Higi'o loktane ela higia. We don't say that he reaches. It means that even it was by coincidence, be'akrai, the husband saw it. V'lo amrinan letza'ureu deka mekaven. Let's face it, Yomei said that the husband wants to do it to basically cause her sorrow. There's a book called Tractate Gittin. He explained it. She is expecting the get, and she wants to marry someone. Either she was proposed, whatever it is, dating, right? And he is now wants to cause her sorrow by saying, I'm backing out the get. So, and then she will be afraid to get married. And then the husband said, oh, I did it just to aggravate you, right? Because imagine, it may happen long time, can be years, that she's waiting for the get. And now she's expecting it. And now the husband said that he changed his mind, right? So, the Rashba explained that it's another phase to that. It's the whole discussion of the validity of the get in the future. Because the moment he comes out and he said, it's over, and we said it's void, so can he come back next day or next hour and says, okay, I changed my mind again, give it to her? Or you have to produce a total new get as a result of that. Anyway, or sheshalach acharav shaliach, or he sent Levi after Shimon to tell him to avoid the get. Lama li? We already learned what we learned many times. Shlucho shel Adam, you agent, your power of attorney is your, כמותו. מהו דתימה לא עלימה שליחותי דבטרה משליחותי דקמא דלבטלי? You may say that the second agent doesn't have more power because you have one against one. You have Shimon, the first agent, you have Levi, the second agent. You may say that one against one cannot void the original intent. Kamash Melan, the Mishnah said no. The second agent can void the first agent. Meaning, even by speaking, by dibur, even just by Reuven saying to Levi, telling that this get is not effective anymore, that already caused the whole get to be total void. Kidem hu etzel ishto. So the Mishnah said, if the husband, if Reuven reached Leah before Shimon gave her the get, and he's saying to her, hey, what Shimon is about to give you, I voided, it's over, it cannot be effective. Lamali. We said already the husband can annul the void the get. So why it's obvious? You may say that we said earlier that his intent is only to cause her sorrow and pain and not to really avoid the get. He just out of he wants to hold vendetta, vindictive individual, so he wants to pay her back by causing tremendous sorrow, right? You may think that that's all apply if he goes to the agent, to Shimon. But if he goes to Leah and tell her that this get is void, it's clear that his intent is to cause Leah pain and not to void the get. Kamash Melan, the Mishnah wants to give us a big chidush, something we didn't know. That when Reuven tell Leah that he voids the get, you assume, we presume that he is sincere, and therefore the get is void. Or sheshalach etzla shaliach, if he sent Levi to tell her that what Shimon is about to give you, it's void. So the Mishnah said it's also void. Lamali, it's obvious. Maybe he, the husband, who is subjective, who have the intent, he may not bother to go and cause her sorrow. So, אבל שליח זה לא אכפת לכי טרח. But as far as the agent, the husband doesn't care if it's causing another effort. ודאי לצורה כמכוון. It's clear that he wants just to cause her pain. Kamash Melan, the Mishnah said, even with that far case, we said that the husband intend to annul the get, and therefore it's void. The rabbi posed a question based on this. They said, the story of Yosef and his brothers. Haboker or, the sun rise, it was light of the sun, והאנשים שולחו, he sent them, the brothers, heima v'chamorehem, them and their donkeys. So the rabbis asked a question. The rabbi that asked her was the son-in-law of the Natziv of Volozhin, great Lithuanian rabbi. He asked the question, why you say the donkeys and with them? That insult. Right? Why are you saying that? So here, it's based on this Gemara. There is Gemara in Tractate Ta'anit, if you remember we studied it. The Gemara said about a donkey of a great rabbi. You remember that, Gilbert? Mm-hmm. So it was a great rabbi that had a donkey that they used to send, for example, money, payment for salary, labor, employment. If they put more money than they need to pay, the donkey will not move. Less money, the donkey will not move. Only if you put exactly. Exact. So here, the idea is Yosef HaTzadik, the righteous biblical Joseph, he was afraid that the whole trick he does with the Gavia, with a cup that he put B'amtachat Binyamin and all the story with the brothers, it doesn't have the consent of God. Maybe Hashem is not so happy of what he is doing. This idea that he wants to force them to bring Binyamin, which forced them to bring Yaakov to Egypt, etc. So he said, when it's come to the level of righteousness, like Yosef, God set it up in a way that even behemtan shel tzadikim, even the animals that serve the righteous people, follow exactly the way Hashem wants to, which is very high. Here we talk about shaliach, the agent. Whenever the agent is basically the same as the person, is in a sense is equal. Anyway, im shehigia get liyada eno yachol levatlo. However, the Mishnah said, the moment Leah receive in her hand the bill of divorce, cannot void it. It's over. So it said pshita. It's obvious. Lo tzricha deme'adar ala mi'ikar levatule. The problem is, if see the husband running to chase the agent, and it was before the agent give her the get, you may think, okay, may carry some power. So they said, remember we talk a lot about breira. You may think that if we understand when it's all said and done that his intent was to void the get before, so therefore kamash melan, that in this case, no. So the difference is, Rava said that it's okay, you can go by retroactive act to void the get. Abaye said, no, you have to say that clearly. And Halacha follow Abaye, Kamash Melan, that no, it's too late. So it was a very painful case in Jewish history. It was a book, excellent book called Trumat Hadeshen. He discussed a case, a fellow that was a sofer Gittin, someone who used for living, was probably a nice handwriter, to write the Gittin. That's the way he make a living. Unfortunately, he went astray in such a way that he converted to other faith group. And then it was a very serious question, because, as you know, throughout generations, we have rabbis that really voluntarily dedicate their life to release agunot, to release deserted wife, and they go to Thailand and they go to South America, to all those jungles, to find husbands to give a get to their wives, to release their wives. So they go to this guy. He was partially in jail, he was partially in other places. They tried to get him to give her the get. The problem with this guy is, by profession, he was expert in this field. So he knew all the tricks and all the ideas, what to do and how to do. And now the guy is over there. He is far away. He is in a prison, right? And he's a wicked person because he converted to other faith group. So the big discussion, Trumat Hadeshen asked, can he appointed a shaliach, can he appointed an agent on his behalf? Why? Because he know all the nuances and all the idea of voiding the get. Can we trust him or not trust him? Since he knew all the way to circumvent the system. It's a very big write-up in among the Rishonim, Achronim, early, late, contemporary rabbis, how you treated this type of situations. Tanu Rabbanan. What the language, specific language, can help, can make avoidance of get? Batelu או אי אפשי בו דבריו קיימים. פסולו אינו גט לא אמר כלום. Again, this is different between saying void or saying is invalid. למימרא דבטל ישנא דלבטיל משמע. What does that mean? It should be void. ואמר רבא בר עיבו, אמר רב ששת ואמר לאמר רבא בר אבוה, מקבל מתנה שאמר לך שבת אמר לו מתנה הזו מבוטלת, תיבטל, אי אפשי בה לא אמר כלום. Moment you gave the gift, you gave the Rolex, right? David gave to Yehuda a Rolex, it's over, right? The moment Yehuda received it, right? You cannot change it. בטלה היא, אינה מתנה, דבריו קיימים. עלמא, בטל מעיקר המשמע. Can you go by retro? Amar Abaye Batel, Abaye said the language of voidance. Page 32b, Shte leshonot mashma, two potential meaning. Mashma de vatel, umashma de libatil. Past, future. Gabei get, lishna de mehanei bakamar. Will be, yehe. Gabei matana, lishna de mehanei kamar. Amar Abaye, nekitinan, we have a received tradition, that's Gemara in Eruvin, Rashi Eruvin, page 5. We have a tradition from our sages, shliach matana arei keshliach haget. The same way someone sent an emissary, an agent, to his wife with a get, and he can void before she receives it, the same applies to gift. As long as the recipient did not receive, he can change. Nafkamina leolech lav kizchei dami. We have a big discussion about the Inquisition, the meaning, the way that, acquisition. Tosfot explained it. If someone gives a gift to someone and said, give this gift to so-and-so, so as long if David sent Elliot to give Yehuda a gift, so as long as Yehuda did not receive the gift, David can go ahead and said, I'm changing my mind. And therefore, holech, not necessarily zecheh. Holech meaning give it. Doesn't mean that you allow that to be acquired and you still have the right, David still have the right to change it. Anyway, in the old Russia was a lot of cases like that. Was a fellow, big, very well-known rabbi. Good morning, sabah al-khair. Welcome. So in the old Russia, it was a rabbi that dedicated his life to help agunot, to help those deserted wives, the husband not give them the get. And so many times he get a letter of get or letter from the husband that allow his wife to be released and get married to someone, etc., etc. Now, unfortunately, that rabbi passed away. And now the rabbinic court, the other rabbis went over all the papers and they found a lot of letters. And some of them is basically saying, one of the letters said, for example, that Mr. So-and-so is basically giving the power of attorney to finalize the get to his wife. Because in old Russia, the transportation, people in the army, people in jail, people, who knows, Siberia, all kind of places. So he gave him the power of attorney to. So the question is, can we appoint it, meaning can the Bet Din appointed a new shaliach that never saw and never knew, just based on that piece of paper of the deceased, to go ahead and release those deserted wives? One view is my teacher, Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, who said you cannot do that. It's a problem because the whole concept of shaliach, one agent can appoint a living other agent on his behalf. Here the agent is no longer among the living, versus it was another great rabbi, Minchat Yitzchak, Rabbi Dayan Weiss, who said, he brought the Gemara, we study on page 22, it's Abba Bamarta, that said that Bet Din can give a get based on those valid paper, valid statement, because to release agunot will go extra mile, even with one witness, even women, even a non-Jew, etc., etc. So it's a big halakha lema'aseh, it's a big discussion in practical way. These two avenues based on this Gemara. Ravina ashkechei leRav Nachman bar Yitzchak. So here a language of annulment of get. The talei v'kare bi'ivra de dasha v'kamibayalei batelu. So it means that it's batel or not batel. So can you go by retroactive act or not? And the Gemara said teiku. Teiku meaning the matter stand unresolved. אמר רב ששת ואמר לה מתניתן תנא, גט לא יועיל, I see running out of time, okay? לא יתיר, לא יעזיב, לא ישלח ולא יגרש, יהא חרס. That's all those, something that is so, they have no monetary values, is חרס. יהיה כחרס דבריו קיימים, אינו מועיל, אינו מתיר, אינו מעזיב, אינו משלח, אינו מגרש, חרס הוא כחרס הוא, לא אמר כלום. So, as long as you have the approval of the signatories on the get, that's a different story against the husband. Otherwise, now, היא באה לו, הרי הוא חרס, מה הוא אמר לרבינה ברבחה ברי דרבא, ואומר לרבחה ברי דרבא לרבשי, מה ישנה מיהו הרי הוא הקדש, הרי הוא הפקר. So, you know, it's a, Rashba said we have the pasuk, we just read it in Parshat Vayechi, לא יסור שבט מיהודה, they said the blessing that Yaakov gave, that the tribe will stay in Yehuda, ומחוקק מבין רגליו עד כי יבוא שילה, until he reach Shiloh. Shiloh usually means the Mashiach time, at the end of the days. So it was a priest asked this great Rashba, this great rabbi, look at the Jews, they're wandering, they couldn't find a permanent place, and here Yaakov blessed that the kingdom will stay in Yehuda, and you don't see it. So he explained to him, he says, look, you don't understand. He said, לא יסור שבט מיהודה ומחוקק מבין רגליו עד כי יבוא שילה, which means Yehuda sometimes here, sometimes there, until the end of the days. But that's very hard to go that direction. There is a book called Knesset Yechezkel that explains עד כי יבוא שילה, it's not Mashiach, but it's Achia Shiloni. Achia Shiloni is one that transferred the kingdom to a very, very bad name, which was Yerovam ben Nevat, a fellow that caused tremendous sorrow. So he meant to say, Lo Yasur Shevet Miyehuda, which is from the tribe of Judah, Yehuda. We have a King David, we have King Solomon, we have King Rehoboam. But then Ad Ki Yavo Shiloh, which is Achia Shiloni, that he take the kingdom from Yehuda, which is the Yerovam ben Nevat. חוזר ומגרש בו, אינו חוזר ומגרש בו. רב נחמן אמר חוזר ומגרש בו, רב ששת אמר אינו חוזר ומגרש בו, בהלכתה כבתי דרב נחמן. איני והקמה לנו הלכתה כבתי דרבי יוחנן דמר חוזרת. החיישת התם דיבור ודיבור הוא את דיבור ומבטל דיבור. ואחא נאי דבטל לשליחותה דשליח גיטה גופי כמבטל. So they said, Yonatan Eibishitz, Rabbi Yonatan Eibishitz said, they said in Parashat Vayechi, they said, Vayishtachu Yisrael al Rosh HaMitah. They said that they bow down to the, so Rashi said, Mikan LaShechina, from here we derive that the divine providence, Shora LeRosho Shel Choleh, that is at the top of the head of a sick person. You have the divine providence there. So he said, what's the connection? Yonatan Eibishitz asked. So he explained that when a person committed a sin, Mikarei Tshuva, one of the idea of making the Tshuva, if you have the same circumstance, the same time, the same person, as the Rambam said, and he overcome his evil inclination, that's a real Baal Tshuva. So he said, if a person is total healthy, we have these expectations. But if the person is sick, and he cannot move, or cannot move much, it's enough for him to think about the Tshuva. So that's the idea, Shechina lemarashotav shel choleh, that divine providence is at the top of the head of a sick person, that the divine accept his teshuva even just by thinking. That's atonement for his sin. If he speak about teshuva, that's already a stage of kapara. Barishona haya oseh, which means originally the husband go to the rabbinic court. So itmar bifnei kama umevatlo. The question is, how many people you need to annul the get? And Tosfot discuss if in hindsight. Rav Nachman amar b'fnei shnayim, Rav Shesh amar b'fnei shlosha. Rav Nachman said it's two people you need to do annulment. Rav Shesh said three. Rav Shesh amar b'fnei shlosha bedin katani. Rav Nachman amar b'shnei shtayim bebeit rei na mekare bedin kralu. Rav Shesh said that if you talk about monetary disputation, it's one thing. But here, the Rashba and the Rashi said if you just make annulment of get, it's different. So the Rambam said, if you go by one person, is meaningless, because you have one shaliach, one agent, and you have one person that annulled it, one against one, it's meaningless. But the Gemara in Bava Batra said, milta be'apei tlata, en ba ein abisha. If you have at the front of the three, so the Chafetz Chaim said that it's not Lashon Hara, it's Rechilut, it's a gossip. מחאה בפני שתיים. Anyway, אמר רב נחמן, מנע מנהלה, דתנן, this is Mishnah in Tractate Gittin, chapter 10, is speaking about the law of פרוסבול, מוסרני לפניכם, the husband said, I make a declaration in your presence. Page 33, פלוני ופלוני הדיינים של מקום פלוני. So and so the judges in such a place. ורב ששת, את ותנא קירוחה לחשוב ולייזל. So Rashi said in Erkim 23 that that's applied to מוכר בשמים, someone who sells perfume. אמר רב נחמן מנע מנהלה דתנן, הדיינים חותמים למטה, at the bottom of the document of the prosbul, the judge's sign, or העדים, or the witness. מה אליו? דיינים דומים לעדים. So the Ritva explain that can you compare the עדים to the דיינים, מה העדים שניים, אבל דיינים נמי שניים, ורב ששת מי דעיריה הכדאיתא והכדאיתא. So למה למיתנה דיינים, למה למיתנה עדים? הקמשמע דלא שנה כתוב בלשון דיינים ואחת מעדים, ולא שנה כתוב בלשון עדים ואחת מדיינים. We do not differentiate between the language of the prosbul, if it's written in the language of judges, or and you have a witness that signed it, or if it's written in the language that it's witnesses and signed as a judges. So the language of the prosbul has to be that we are the bet din, so and so came before us, and he said that all the loan or whatever involved that I gave to so and so, they cannot circumvent the system by using the jubilee. So halakha, we have a disputation if prosbul is affected by having two followers of Nachman or of Sheshet, that you have to have three. That's the two Choshev Mishpat 67. But in conclusion, I just want to say that based on all of our discussion, this question of aginut, of deserted wife, is a very serious halachic discussion, and it goes both ways. It was one of the stories is right after the Second World War, when it was a lot of cases of missing spouse for many years. So they convince, in one hand, is a sign, for example, that she is no longer among the living. But we have the Cherem Darmenu Gershom. The question is if the husband can go ahead based on all kind of unknown evidence to go ahead and marry someone. So it was one time in the border of Romania, a big rabbinic gathering, and it was the late Bobover Rebbe, which was one of the righteous luminary rabbi in the past generation. And they get together and they ask, can we go ahead and allow the husband to get married based on the fact that he didn't see his spouse for several years, he was in a concentration camp, and it's not clear if she's around or not. And in one hand, can you say that the Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom you treat it as the oraita or not? Because you don't know. So it was one of the rabbi, his name is the Gaon of Naimetz, his name of city called Naimetz. He was one of the ingenious rabbis. So he said, if Rabbeinu Gershom was alive, he is in heaven, and he screamed and shouted, look what the Jewish people went through in the Shoah during the Holocaust, and in my cherem I did not intend to cause the sorrow that person already have by being so many years suffering in the concentration camp. So the Bobo Rebbe stood up and he said to them, okay, I hear everything you said, but I want to say the other side, that she also, the wife that was deserted and doesn't know what's going on in the husband, and we're now in a very early process of people meet other people and try to find their spouse, and everything is up in the air, because remember that was before the computers or any communication era. So he said, the moment that she find out that he married someone else, it's also tremendous suffering. So it's not enough that she is deserted and she went to the Shoah, now she need to find out that he married someone else. So he asked the committee of the rabbis, can we rules by force of circumstance to ask the husband to wait 1 year, meaning he come before the Beit Din, he said to us that I want to marry someone else. The moment he filed a declaration, we wait another year, and from that point onward, he allowed to do it. So guess what? They all voted to go by the Bobo Rebbe and to do that. So it was a fellow right after that meeting that he came and he said, I want to do that, and they filed his paper, and that's it. Several years afterward, that fellow came to the Bobo Rebbe with his family. So he said to that Rebbe, you know, you saved my life. You know why? Because of that ruling, I knew that I have a year now So I make an extraordinary search and I find my wife. And without that ruling for waiting 1 year, I easily go ahead and marry someone else.
Shula